The views, opinions, and positions expressed in this podcast called Mood Food are in no way the views, opinions, and positions of the Department of the Air Force, DoD, United States government, including resources listed in today's podcast.
Hello, everyone. I'm your host for the Mood Food Podcast, Jason Gordon, and I am joined by my husband here, Othell Garman. And, you know, if you ask Siri, it's Othell.
Well, this ain't Siri.
We are delighted to have you along here with us today, and I dragged him into it because I wanted him to be part of today's broadcast, and probably in the future, too, because I want people to have more of a variety instead of just listening to me ramble on about things, right?
I don't know if they want to hear me.
Of course they do.
Opinions.
Oh, you got good opinions.
All right.
He
I
does.
hope so.
He does. And we want to thank everyone for sending us to the reviews, not to the reviews, but the reviews, and also putting in some good emails at moodfoodpodcast@gmail.com and checking out our Instagram page, our YouTube channel, and our Facebook page too, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know how you keeping up with all that.
Well, sometimes it's just part of life, and so you just have to deal with it. And I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun coming into people's homes, cars, businesses, or wherever they're listening to us, you know? Mm-hmm. And he does all the editing and does a fantastic job, and I'm grateful for that. But, so tell us, oh, you're very welcome. Yes, you're very welcome. I want to talk today about body awareness. What does that mean to you? Like when you start to feel aware of your body and some of the things that are going on. What do you think? Is it me aggravating the mess out of you, or you start to get frustrated?
You do not aggravate. Stop it.
Or what do you think?
About body awareness?
Yeah.
Well, I just think you need to know your body. One of the things is you have to know your body, and you have to know when you're having issues with your body. Mm-hmm. Like just me, like when I used to run.
Okay.
And afterwards, I always thought, you know, that my knee would be on fire, you know, so I thought I was always running wrong, but it was come to find out that there was actually something wrong with me.
Okay.
With not my knee, but it was actually my hip.
But what about like stressors and stuff like that? How does stress affect you? What do you recognize as being stress, and then what it does to your body?
Stress, usually like my neck would start hurting, or sometimes my eye would twitch.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I forgot about that one because I know sometimes, like for me too, it will start twitching and stuff.
It'll start twitching.
And then I'm realizing, oh my gosh, I got this, that, and other to do and stuff. So it's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Especially when got a lot of homework to write, papers to write. Oh,
he loves it.
It's aggravating.
He loves it, folks. He loves it. Don't let him tell you he doesn't. He loves it. But no, those are like a lot of people in occupational settings and their own personal lives and just life happening. It's hard sometimes to make that connection between what's happening and how their body is reacting to it, because their body, they may be like, oh, I have a virus, or oh, I'm sick or something, but it could be those external stressors that are affecting them internally and therefore affecting their mood, making them more irritable, killing their appetite, making them run to the bathroom because their stomach's upset, the neck pain and the back pain for sure. Yeah, so by recognizing that, what do you find very beneficial to helping minimize some of those symptoms?
Well, to help minimize, sometimes like I definitely know that I need to cut out caffeine, especially if my eye is twitching.
Bad. I love caffeine.
But for me, when my eye is twitching, it's like, okay, I need to cut out the caffeine.
Okay.
And then depending on...
Well, you drink like 5 cups of coffee in an hour.
Well, you know, I love coffee.
He doesn't. I'm kidding.
I don't. Maybe one cup a day. Maybe I'll do 2, but usually it's 1. But normally it's the soda that I have to watch out for, because sometimes I want some sugary, something sweet, but it's like I don't want candy or anything, so I'll get a soda.
That's stress eating.
Well, not really.
It can be.
but not when I'm wanting something sweet or whatever. Maybe it is stress eating me, because usually it is when I'm doing homework when I want another soda.
It could be. But it could be. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not sure. But, I mean, it's one of those things that that I know that if you're recognizing it, then just work through it and make it positive. So I'm glad that you've recognized some of those things that you know are negatively impacting. Do you hear that in the headphones? Mm-hmm. I know we're kind of talking to ourselves here, but we're hearing something in the headphones, and I don't know what it is. But anyway, we're going to keep going and kind of say, here, let me... Okay, now we're back on. Okay, still the same thing. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll figure that out, folks. You're hearing some of the growing pains and all of that stuff as we are trying out new equipment. So, recognizing what is going on, it's very important. So, like Othell said, is he started recognizing some of those things that could be contributing factors, and then by trial and error, he tried it, and it happened, just so happened, as he decreased the caffeine, his eye decreased on his twitching. So, it's just a little bit of you being really in tune with your body, and a lot of people will do these body scans where they will lay flat on their back, take time out about 5 minutes in a day, and scan from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, and where you're recognizing what's tense, what could be contributing to that, and then trying to take some of those things, those external forces, out of the equation so that your body can kind of reset itself. And so it's very important that we recognize that, because I say today, right now, tomorrow, that life is going to happen, and we just have to make sure that we are very aware of what's happening so that it does not have those long-term effects, whether it's mentally, physically, because it can be lasting. It can make a lasting imprint in our behaviors and our thoughts and feelings. And so if we can stay ahead of it, it's important. You agree?
Yes.
He would agree, folks, because he wouldn't disagree if I paid him to. But in all seriousness, no, it's very important, because I mean, this is, as we get older, our bodies have a more difficult time, I think. It has a more difficult time, I guess, coping with some of those stressors that happen, because we're going to have these things that come up, and we're going to have situations that we may not be able to bounce back from as quickly, whether it's environmentally or in our own personal lives. What would you say? What would you say is where you are today? Like, what has helped you the most? Was it just cutting back on some of those external things that you were putting into your body, or what mental aspect of it were you thinking about?
The mental aspect, I try not to let my homework stress me out. Mm-hmm. I try to focus on, all right, I know I need to finish this assignment. I know that by finishing it, I will be better, because it'll be done. I won't have to worry about it. And then, I'll be more relaxed because I'm done with it. I'm not focusing on it. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting upset about it and stuff like that.
And so what about like when you were in the military, before you retired? How did you deal with that? Because I know, like, for myself being in the military, I always come home and talk to you, and I'm like, oh my God, this just happened. And my blood pressure goes up. And then I have to go back and I have to review some of the things I've shared with our audience about what's going to help keep me from getting a headache from my blood pressure going up, or any of those other symptoms that I described, like stomach issues and the stress. I mean, the daily grind and the things that are asked of us can wear us out. So, I mean, how did you do 20 years and do it? I know you probably had a lot of wear and tear, but how did you do it? I just need to know, like, what worked for you.
Well, one of the things that, being in the position I was in, it was I couldn't let it bother me, because if it bothered me, then I wouldn't be able to be successful at it. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's like, one, okay.
TL, I don't know. There's a story behind that, but
but it's like, okay, one, I know I need to do my job. I know I got to get it done. Mm-hmm. But all the other stuff, it can wait until I finish my number one priority and my job.
Okay.
And then everybody else's emergency is not my emergency.
Okay. That's a good way to put it.
Because if they knew about something that needed to be done, why would you wait until the last minute to come to me and say, oh, well, this has to be done right here, right now? And it's like, okay, well, if you knew that, why didn't you tell me ahead of time?
And there's a lot of work fatigue that comes along with just doing the normal daily job. And when someone comes to you because they haven't completed what they need to complete and expect you to do it, it can be very frustrating. And I think that's what happens to a lot of us. We get caught up in that daily grind, and when these external folks who really don't appreciate what we do on a daily basis puts a tasker on us and expects us to incorporate that already into the machine that we are keeping running, it's very frustrating, I know, for me. So I definitely need to learn that. I'm trying to. But sometimes it's just hard. I get caught up in it and I let my emotions get out of control. So I always try to voice how I'm feeling because it helps to acknowledge it, and then also keeps my body from storing it in places like my neck, my back, my stomach, any of those places that might have that negative impact.
And another thing is like, so if someone comes and asks, well, they need something, well, when do you need it by? Like if it's like next week, then it's like, okay, I'll get to it when I can. But if it's like, oh, I need it in an hour, and it's like I'm already working on something, 9 times out of 10 I can't help you.
Yeah. So definitely. So thank you for sharing that. I want to tell them about that TL thing.
Okay, tell them.
So so I have my granny had 5 boys, and so my oldest uncle TL in Florida would always talk to my granny and come and visit us. It was always great hearing about his adventures. He retired from the Air Force too, and hearing about all his adventures. And so he would always say to my granny, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, or you know. Finally one day, I mean, you always knew when my granny was tired of it, because she would just, like, she had a recliner. We still have that recliner, and in Florida at the house there, and she would raise up out of her recliner, just her back, and she'd put the 2 hands on the arms, and she'd be like, TL, I don't know. And then so whenever Othell or Othell, whoever you're asking, will ask or will say something like that, I always say, TL, I don't know. And then also, we were talking about my granny the other day too, and my Aunt Louise in church. If someone came in Okay, so before we had a little interruption there in the recording because I didn't plug in the computer that we were recording on. That kind of shot its wad. So my granny would say that too. So I guess this is an episode about her today. So we were talking about church and how my granny and Aunt Louise, they would always sit close to the front. I'd be like, oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so anyway, make a long story short, we would sit up there. I mean, and when the preacher is preaching, I'm telling you, if someone would open up a piece of candy, everybody's head would look towards that person and mean mug that person. Or people coming in the middle door, you know, coming in to the sanctuary. And so one day, someone came in, and I could just read my granny's facial expression as well as my Aunt Louise, because my Aunt Louise, she always sat closest to the aisle, and then it was my granny and it was me. And so when I heard that door, I looked too, but my Aunt Louise would always look. I mean, and she would turn her head so fast, I swear she almost would get whiplash from it, or I don't know how she kept from getting vertigo, but she would always just whip it around, and my granny would elbow her and be like, it's just so-and-so. Don't you know, baby, they're always late, or something like that. And, but then Louise would be like, I know, but I could hear them. And I mean, it was just a hoot growing up with them, because what they would say and do. And another thing is like when Othell or Othell here starts asking me a lot of questions, my granny would also say, now Louise, I didn't ask. And so I always tell him that too. Louise, I didn't ask when he starts asking me all these questions about things. Because I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. But when
I do ask him a lot of questions. But he has a lot of knowledge. So I love asking him questions.
Yeah, I paid you to say that, but don't cash that check.
That is not true. That is not true.
Goodness.
You do have a lot of knowledge.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I love asking you stuff.
I know. I appreciate that. And I really hope that folks out there, like, they enjoy what we put out on the podcast. Because I hope it's helpful and at least comical. And being aware of your body and what's happening is very important, because you want to make sure that you head that off at the pass before things get worse.
Yes.
And if it's something that you know that it's not being caused mentally or by environmentally, it could be something bad physiologically going on. So make sure you make an appointment with your doctor to go have that checked out and seen, just to rule out anything that could be getting worse.
Yes, and I would say if you know there's something not normal, your toe is hurting, it's been hurting for the last week, or any body part, I honestly suggest you go get it checked. Don't be afraid to get it checked, because you could be causing more harm than good.
Exactly. You have to drag me to go to the doctor. I can't stand going.
Drag them almost every week.
I don't go that often. He's spreading rumors. You are starting stuff.
You don't.
This means war, son.
But I know when there's something wrong with you, when you're sick or whatever.
What do I normally want? And I normally don't eat.
Well, one, this is how I know there's something wrong with you physically, and that is you don't get up. And what I mean by that is he when he gets up, he is up until it's time to go to bed. But if there's something wrong with him, he'll want to take a nap. Or he'll want to lay down.
Yeah.
And so that's when I know there's something wrong.
Or I want fast food. Like, I want McDonald's, and
God, yes. He don't eat fast food, so when he wants fast food, that's another one.
Yeah.
I know that there's something wrong, or you're sick.
Mm-hmm. Yep. When they go into burger world, when the cashier there yells at you, and I just got turned off of fast food years ago when she slammed the meal in my chest and told me, "Don't count it, just beat it on my change."
Well, you see, that's when you throw it back at her.
No. All right, we're getting way off topic.
Okay, we're getting
here.
Off topic.
So,
all right. So let's go. So body awareness.
Body awareness, and make sure you do those body scans. Take time out throughout your day to take those relaxation moments. It's gonna pay off in the long run. And even if it's just for 5 minutes, listen to yourselves and listen to those symptoms and find out what the root cause is and work through it. Even if you have to incorporate a therapist or someone that is going to be there to kind of help break that apart. You can journal about it. You can make a list of your daily routines to make those connections where you may not know what's causing some of these signs and symptoms of tension and stress that builds up in your body. And I always tell people, get out, exercise, get some vitamin D, get some sun, and just try to refocus what life throws at us. So I think now I don't have to say I'm going to cut away and have Othell read us a review. He has it right here, so we don't have to do that. So can you read a review, and then we'll close out with the quote that I picked today?
I gotta go find it. Okay, let me see. Oh,
lies, he's got it right here.
I got it right here.
How convenient.
Okay.
Hit it, son.
All right. This review, it says, "Love this podcast." It's from, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Bricks Beauty. And it says, I am a vibrational person, and I'm always trying to make sure that I am feeding myself positive vibes, whether it is mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. I am the type that deals with a lot of letting things bother me, and I am so happy I came across your podcast. I immediately felt warm and mentally and spiritually fed. So thank you. And I am supporting all the way from KC. with a heart emoji.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much, Bricks Beauty, for taking time to do that. Make sure you email us your address so I can send you some of the giveaway stuff. We have a Frisbee, tumbler, mask, hand sanitizer, pen. Make sure that you let us know where your address is, and we'd be more than happy to send that to you free of charge while supplies last. No refunds, exchanges, or anything else. Whatever those disclaimers are on those commercials, right?
Yes. And no COD.
Cash on delivery. I haven't heard that in forever. Remember those Time Life music things? COD. Whatever. Okay. So let's go ahead and read today's quotes. And then that'll be it for today. So awareness is like the sun. When it shines on things, they are transformed. And things meaning you folks out there. Get out, get some sun, whether it's the physical sun or some sort of positive environment that you can put yourself in. Make it transform you. Allow it to transform you. Folks will find that in their churches, in their faith-based groups. Welcome that into your lives. Believe it. Lean on that more now than you have before. And then some tips here for your making that mind-body connection. There's 6 steps here I'm going to read to you. And number 1 is to close your eyes and take a breath. Number 2 is to scan the body. Number 3 is be aware of any sensations, pleasant or unpleasant. Number 4 is notice where the sensations are coming from. Number 5 is let your awareness travel around the body. And 6, make sure to follow these sensations until they disappear, because the mind's first step to self-awareness must be through the body. Makes a lot of sense, huh?
That's great.
Yeah. We want to thank everybody for taking time to tune in to us today. Thank you for making this podcast a success. We love hearing from you, so drop us a line at moodfoodpodcast@gmail.com. I cannot talk today. It's because I bit my tongue. I was chewing gum too hard, and oh my gosh. Yeah, if you've ever heard smacking, you don't want to be around me when I'm chewing gum. Gmail.com, that's moodfoodpodcast@gmail.com. And then also hit us up on our Instagram page, Mood Food Podcast, as well as our YouTube channel, where you can see me and Othell right now in action here, filming today's broadcast, and then our Facebook page. From all of us here, as just us two, at the Mood Food Podcast, we want to thank you for tuning in today. Would you like to say any closing remarks?
I think you did it all.
Okay.
But I just want to say, keep supporting us. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're growing in progress. We're growing.
Yeah.
And we enjoy doing this.
It's a lot of fun.
It's fun.
It's a lot of fun, and hopefully we're changing perspectives out there and making people smile. Yes. That's our goal. All right, folks. Take care, and until the next episode of the Mood Food Podcast, I'm Jason Gordon.
And I'm Othell Garman. That's only if you're talking to Siri.
Have a great day, everyone. We appreciate you so very much. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.